Yo, what is up guys? My name is George and today we'll be recording another video. And for today, we're actually gonna be doing I'm gonna be transferring my motherboard and PS2 and adding RGB extension power supply cables for my GPU, and I will also be adding in non-RGB extension for power supply, so it will be looking nicer for my PC. Without further ado, let's get on with the video. So for the first step, we'll actually be disassembling the PC by first taking out the 4 screws holding in the glass panel, the tempered glass panel, and the metal panel. After that, we will now be disassembling the PC. So first, we'll remove the GPU power, remove the Wi-Fi card power, and then we'll unscrew everything for the Wi-Fi card. Then I'll just do that. And yeah guys, this is actually gonna be a voiceover, so yeah. So right now I'm just taking out the screws for the GPU. However, at this moment I realized that I forgot all about the AIO cooler for the GPU, so I'm gonna screw back in the screw. Then I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew the AIO cooler. So you guys can see by the clip, I actually just removing the screws, and now here I actually removed the metal panel. So I had to look for the cable that was for the AIO cooler. Now it's over there. And also sorry about the very bad cable measurement, but it works well. It was able to close, so I'm just bringing it. And I'm just over here, just taking out the screw finally. And yeah, so you guys can see the AIO cooler is right down there. Then I just popping some screws. And I realized I have to tip over this case, so it will not work. So now I'm just taking out the rest of the parts. So now I'm gonna just set my camera, and then I'm gonna just pop out the GPU like so. It's actually just press the button and then it pops out. And now we will be working on that 24 pin. I'm gonna take out every single motherboard cable that I can see. So now it's the CPU fan. And that will be the cable for the CPU fan, and I just take out the fan like so. And now I will be taking out the CPU cooler. So I'll be using my electric screwdriver and take it out. And yes, it does help me out when I unscrewing stuff. So yeah. Oh, don't forget to clean out the old thermal paste and the excess thermal paste that might have been gotten onto the copper pipes if you're using a big heat sink. Otherwise, the stock code should be quite easy. After that, just clean it off on the CPU itself. Now I'm gonna just pop out the 2 DDR4 16GB RAM like so. And now I'm gonna be popping out the CPU. But first, I'm actually gonna pop out the NVMe. And then I'm gonna take out every screw that I can see. However, I actually missed out one screw that was at the right corner of the motherboard. So I will actually be spending quite a while just to figure out how the hell do I actually take off the motherboard. And after a while, I actually just flipped the case and see what was going on. And then I actually took out this CPU fan bracket, if you guys can see by the next clip. And as you can see, the mother was actually pretty free, and then I realized that the screw over there was actually not unscrewed. So I already took it out, and now I'm just figuring out what other screw is missing. However, I was just needing one little push out, and then boom. And yes, I did flip the mother by accident because I was using too much strength just to remove it. So yeah, now I'm actually gonna lay the motherboard there, take out the old CPU. I'm actually gonna hold it for quite a while because I actually didn't want to mess up the old the current CPU. Then here's the new motherboard. It's a Asus B150 if I'm not wrong, or it's an M-ATX motherboard. Okay, you guys can see Asus Prime H510MA with Asus Aura Sync enabled for that motherboard. So now we're gonna pop in the CPU, pop in the RAM, and then pop in the NVMe M.2 SSD, the 128GB M.2. So just pop it in, pop in the RAM. Now I'm gonna just unscrew the NVMe heatsink. And yes, we're on this Gen 3 or Gen 4 ready. So yeah, actually over there actually figuring out what was I doing wrong, and then I realized that it was not because of the M dot screws, it was because I was supposed to screw in with the heatsink. So I just spent about a few minutes just trying to figure out what was going on. As you can see that I actually just spent quite a while just take out the accessories from the motherboard. And yes, I did take out the Wi-Fi antenna for the Wi-Fi. And now I will have the NVMe popped in there, and now I just figure out I want to screw and just screw in the other parts into the NVMe socket. So yeah. Alright, so now I actually realize how to use the heatsink, so just give it a sec for me to just figure out what was I doing. So, and yep, there you go, I realized I used the NVMe socket. So actually over there just figuring out which direction was it. So yeah. And yeah, this is not really the best way to teach people how, but this is what I did when I was transferring the motherboard, because it has been a while since I did a motherboard transfer. So you gotta give me some credit, alright? I can see that I just screwed it in. It was quite tight, so yeah. And now I have to put on the thermal paste for the CPU cooler, and yes, it looks very wrong. So yeah. And now I'm gonna put in the CPU bracket, which I actually really done just now. So now I'm gonna put in the cooler. I'm gonna screw it in just a little bit, so I can use my screwdriver just to fully screw it in quickly. And this build actually took me about 2 hours just to do, but you're actually seeing just a 20-minute video. So yeah. So now I'm actually gonna put in the IO shield. It's actually quite easy, just snap it in. There's a lot of tutorials online, so I don't really need to show you because it's quite simple. Just take out the old one, pop in the new one, and you should be good. Alright, so now I'm actually gonna just start going the motherboard mounting screw. So now I actually just set up the motherboard. Now I'm gonna start screwing in the motherboard screws inside using manually, because it was quite hard to use the electronic screwdriver as there's no magnet on the screwdriver tip. So I just quickly just screw it in, like as you can see. Now I try to figure out where the other screw was, so I just took it out from the ziploc bag. Then I actually spilled by accident. Then I'm gonna actually reroute the CPU cooler, the CPU fan, as you can see. But first I'm actually gonna take out the 24 pin and the 8 pin and the CPU pins, cause I'm actually gonna change the power supply. So what I did was just change the power supply first. So I took out every single thing over there, make it free. So I'm gonna just change out the power supply. And yeah, and the power supply just been swapped. So for this step, we will be right now just unboxing the PSO. So just be careful not to like damage the power supply or anything. So just carefully place it down. And don't let me try to peel off some stuff, but that's actually just to protect the pins. So now you have to select the cables that you need. You need the 24 pins, the 8 pins for the GPU, which is gonna be the red color ones. Otherwise, you guys still choose the black color one, but I actually just chose the black ones. So yeah, and then don't forget your SATA power also. So you just plug into the respective columns. So you just do it as so. For the 24 pins, you just do to the one that says motherboard, if I'm not wrong. However, due to Thermaltic's special design, actually very different on how you're supposed to do. So first you have to put in the big ones, then you put in the smaller one, but I actually did it in reverse. So I'm just doing this separating the cables so I actually won't mix it up. And then there you go, that's how you actually do it. Then now I'm actually gonna slot in the PSU, but I have to actually make space, and then I can just slot in the PSU like so. And yes, it was not that easy. And yes, the power supply is quite hard to insert, so that's why you actually see me just struggling to insert it. But eventually I actually just got it in to slide in properly, and yeah, then I actually just needed to just adjust some cables just to make sure it fits well. And I was gonna just start screwing it in, and then my side panel fell down to the ground, so it made actually quite a loud noise. I'm actually just getting the screw for the power supply. Then I had to readjust it to align it with the screw holes, and then I just started screwing it in. Yeah, and I was just over there just torquing it down just to make sure it's tight. Then I'm just going to go with the crisscross pattern just to make sure that everything fits evenly, and yeah, actually looks way nicer if I actually do it crisscross. Alright, so now we're just continue screwing, and yes, I actually will be skipping the part that I just do cable matching because it's gonna take me very long just to record that. So you actually won't see the cable matching one, but you'll just see the final product. So yeah, I'll show you the pictures soon. Well guys, this is the end product. So you guys like, please put thumbs up, subscribe, press notifications, and comment on what other suggestions should I do for this for my PC or anything. So yeah, bye.